What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are just crushing the tables right now. Today, we are going to take a look at this roller coaster of a session from last night. Somehow I went from being down about 5 buy-ins to going up 4 buy-ins. That's a 9 buy-in swing within a couple thousand hands. It was a crazy night on the tables. That's what happens on the weekends. Let's jump into it. Here's a good idea of how my night started out. Get on a 50 NL table, get aces, feels great. Just started, just sat down, $50 in the stack, 3 bet aces, and we get a call, see a flop. There's $11.75 in the pot. I make it $6.50 to go, and this player jams all in. The only hand that I'm slightly worried about right now is pocket queens. It's possible that this player could be playing that. Maybe they could be playing pocket sevens or pocket eights as well. But I'm definitely not going to get rid of this hand and wind up seeing kings. Awesome, great. And then the king hits on the river. That motherfucker. So that was a big loss to start out the session. One of many that started out my session. Here's a good one too. I think I made a mistake on this one though. So we have a limp from the cutoff. I just check with A4 offsuit in the big blind. Wind up flopping trip fours, bets 2/3 of the pot. We get a call. I bet 2/3 of the pot again on the turn, and we get raised. And right here, I have to think about the possible hands that this player could be raising with. I don't think a 4 king is going to be in his range, but look at that VPIP. There could be pretty much any 4 in his range, including 4-9, 4 king, or even what we're seeing right now, a 4-10. So I just make a call, and I should have stuck to my guns. I think I was actually tilting a little bit from, some of the big hands that I'd lost before. You can see, how big of a downswing I went right in the beginning of the session. And, it's hard because that will affect you mentally. That's when you just have to get up off the table, go for a drive, get out of the house, go for a run, hit the gym, do whatever you have to do to get your mind off of poker for a little bit before you can come back and be mentally stable to play. So I come out and I fire a large bet, thinking that I'm going to probably make value from any king that could be calling right there. And I see, a big fishy player right here, but I should have realized that he probably had a 4 if that's how he was playing this hand. He played it exactly like he did have a 4, calling the flop bet, waiting until the turn to raise when a king came out there and a flush came out there, and there's a couple of straight draws out there. So I think what I probably should have done here on the river with all the straights, all the flushes missing, is just check called and try to bluff and deuce right there for a lot of the range that could have missed that river. So you know how this one goes. I'm pot committed. I make the call and wind up losing a big pot right there. Oh, this was another nasty one. Alright, so I have king 9 suited on the button. Folds around to me. I make it 3x to go. And we get called by the small blind and the big blind. See a flop. I have 2 overcards and a flush draw. Really like this hand. And I'm going to play it like it's the nuts. I'm going to be betting it the whole way. And if I do hit my flush, I can get a lot of chips in and bet for value. I've got a ton of outs here. And I won't be upset if I pick up the pot just on a bet right there. But I do get a call. Wind up hitting my flush on the turn. Bet pretty large on the turn. And we just get a call on the turn. The river is a 6. Pairs the board. There is 23-12 in the pot. The small blind just min bets the river. I don't get why anyone does this min bet, unless you're trying to put in like the most extremely small blocker bet possible, which really doesn't do anything because you can't really get a read on it because it's a min bet. And to me, that seems like you're just putting your value on this pot at 50 cents, and maybe there's some way I disconnected or something like that, and you're just trying to pick up this pot for 50 cents. Maybe I completely read this one wrong, and let me know if I am wrong about that down in the comment section below. I might be. I have been wrong. I tend to be wrong, but I do make a raise here, and you see what hand he is, and he's not going to be getting rid of this hand. I'm actually surprised he didn't come back over the top of me. He just makes a call and picks up a big pot right there. I think I made a mistake with that one as well, but I think he also made a mistake. I think he probably could have got my whole stack right there. Look at all these big losses though. They're all right at the beginning of the session, like 10 p.m. And then to midnight, like within an hour, like 8 huge fucking losses. Let's flip it around though. And now we're looking at the big wins. And you can see a lot of big wins after 2 a.m. These weekend sessions, you guys, are so lucrative. It's insane. The player pool is super fishy, making some insane plays that we'll get into. And, you know, they're just giving money away, you guys. You guys got to get out there on the weekends. I know that's not the time you probably want to sit in front of your computer, but you got to make sacrifices. Look at this by day of the week. Saturday, almost 7 big blinds per 100 hands. Sunday, 11. And that includes Saturday night too, after midnight, which was last night. And for some reason, those 2 days are still my lowest volume days. So sad. Let's get back to the session. Alright, biggest win of the night came with this hand. It's at a 5 NL table. We have an under the gun +1, 3x raise, a call behind in middle position, a call in the hijack seat, and I am not going to call with king, queen, or ace, king here. I make a raise to 85 cents, and we get 2 calls pre-flop. Wind up flopping top pair, top kicker with deuces on the board. Not too worried about the deuce. I just check back the flop though. We get a bet from under the gun +1 of $2 into me. This pot commits pretty much everyone who is going to call or raise this $2 bet, and so we get a call to my right as well, and I just jam all in here. It's a little bit more than 3 times the $2 bet. I think that's a pretty standard play. I have top 2 now with the aces and kings, and we get a call from an ace to my right and pick up a large pot right there. 189 big blinds on that one. I think that one's that right there. Too bad it wasn't at a 50 NL instead of the 5 NL. Alright, this time we are looking at pocket 8s on the dealer button. We get a raise from the hijack seat to 75 cents and a call to his left. I just make a call on the button. Wind up flopping middle set. We have a 2/3 pot size bet lead out and a raise to $5. And I'm not giving away the value of this hand, especially on such a dry board. King high rainbow. There's no straight draws out there. There's no flush draws out there. I am just going to slow play from here out. So I just call the $5. The turn is a 5. Now there's a couple straight draws. Now there's a couple flush draws. He's shown a lot of aggression so far. I don't think he's going to get rid of a raise here that's going to be about 2.5 times his $8 bet. So I just jam all in here, and he does make a call. It's set over set. That is a little bit of a cooler. I'm going to take it though. That's a big win. Alright, now we're looking at pocket queens under the gun +1. I've got fine dining to my right, who I've been getting in a lot of big pots with. I lost a couple of huge ones against him in the session before last night. He coolered me once, and another time he called my 4-bet with like pocket 8s or 9s or something and wound up flopping a set, and we got it all in on the flop, and he wound up taking a big pot from me that one too. So we've got a little history, and so far he has been dominating me, but I'm not going to change my game up against him. I 3-bet pocket queens under the gun +1 since he has been playing so loose and aggressive, and he makes a call here. There's 12 bucks in the pot, 8 high board, very draw heavy, and I know that a lot of these pairs aren't going to be out of his range. Really good possibility that he could have been playing anything in there, which you can see from what he's holding. So I bet $7.50 and he jams all in. I'm not going to get rid of this one against such an aggressive player. I think there's a ton of hands that he would make this play with, and I'm going to be in the lead against most of those hands. You know, obviously a lot of the sets and possible 2 pairs I'm going to be behind. I could see him drawing here a lot though. So I do make a call. We see he has 7s with a gut shot. He did have a lot of outs there, but I do wind up picking up a very large pot there with a full house. Another cooler. I've got pocket aces in the hijack seat. We have a min raise, and I 3-bet it to 350, and it gets 4-bet behind me. I just make a call here. I see that this is a regular player, and if I 5-bet him, there's a good chance he might fold those queens, so I do just make a call. Flop is a 10 high board. I check back and jam them all in on the flop. I figured if he has ace king, I already got enough value off the ace king. He's probably just going to fold it. He's going to be calling hands that he would 4-bet with, since he has a 100% 4-bet. Premium hands would be queens, kings, aces, and ace king. So ace king's gone. I'm gonna get called by queens, kings, and aces. So I'm just gonna get it all in here. And he does make a call. He had a lot of outs there after the turn jack, but I do pick up a pot right there. Ooh, another cooler. Had quite a few of these last night. So we have an under the gun +1 limp, and we have a bet in the hijack seat to 5x. I 3-bet on the button with aces to 425, a little bit larger than 3 times his bet, and he jams all in. I'm getting it all in. This is one of those coolers where I wound up being on the right side of it. A lot of the times I'm on the other side of it. So that one's pretty much just a coin flip, you guys. Neither of us really made any big mistakes or any big plays on that one. This Solasa guy makes some really aggressive and big bets. He makes it 8x under the gun, which, is a bit much. This guy puts in a ton of volume though, so I don't know what to think about him. I 3-bet with aces. I make it 1050 to go. It's a little bit larger than 2.5 times his bet. Folds around back to him, and he jams all in with queens. I'm not getting away from aces, obviously, and make a call and wind up winning another large pot right there. That one's a bit of a cooler too. That's not how I would have played queens, with the 8x open 4-bet jam, but to each their own. And this guy, he's done well. He puts in a shit ton of volume. I see this guy on the leaderboard every week. All right, now we're looking at ace queen of hearts in the big blind. This is a 25 NL table. We have an open min raise on the button and a 3-bet by a fishy player in the small blind. Makes it 2.5 times the open min raise. It's $1 to me to call here. I like being in this spot with ace queen with a fish to my right, knowing that this player might get rid of whatever hand he's opening with, since he's probably opening with a very wide range right there. So I do 4-bet there with ace queen. That might have been a mistake. I might have just wanted to call right there and see a flop, or make it a smaller isolation bet to try to get rid of this player. But I make it $5 and we do get a call. Wind up flopping 2-heart board with 2 overcards, 1050 in the pot. I'm already pot committed pretty much. Well, I guess I am pot committed since he is pot committed. I do make a continuation bet and he goes all in. I get it all in with the 2 overcards and a flush draw. Wind up hitting my flush draw. Wasn't expecting to see queens there, but that I guess is not out of his playing range either. I think this hand happened probably when I was right at the bottom of that downswing and tilting a little bit. This one seems like it's a little bit looser of a play that I usually make. I don't know exactly what read I had on this fishy player at the time, but usually a small bet like that from a fish is going to be a strong hand. So I think I might have made a mistake pre-flop right there and misread his hand a little bit when I 4-bet. It worked out well for me this time, but that's something I should learn from in the future. Alright, so we have ace king in the hijack seat. Under the gun raises to 3x. Under the gun +1 calls, and then we get a 3-bet from a very fishy, very aggressive player. 3-bets 22% of hands pre-flop so far, over 150 hands. I 4-bet here to $13. This is a 50 NL table, and then we get a 5-bet jam from Just Golden, and I'm not getting rid of this one. There's only $9 more to call. He winds up having a huge draw there on the flop, but misses them all, and I pick up a big pot right there with ace high. That's a pretty loose 5-bet jam with ace jack, especially when it's only $9 more for me to call. You're not really going to get rid of many hands with the ace jack there. Alright, this hand I have ace king, open to 3x. We get raised to my left to 450. I 4-bet to 1050. He does make a call. There's 2175 in the pot. We both have very deep stacks. I do see that his fold to continuation bet is 70%, which is a very high number. I make a pretty small bet there, 750, and he makes a quick call. This is a pretty draw heavy board. The 8 didn't really help many of the hands that are probably in his range. There is now 3675 in the pot. I just checked back, and he checks back as well. I hit my king on the river, but I see that he has a very high fold percentage on the river too, and I want to get a lot of the hands that he probably could be calling with on the flop. Ace jack, ace queen, maybe pocket tens. I want to get a lot of those hands to stick around, so I make it 1450 to call, which I think is pretty affordable into a pot this size. It's only about a third of the pot. It's less than a third of the pot actually, and he does make a call and wind up picking up a large pot right there. Do you guys think I should have bet the river bigger here? here? Did I miss out on some value? Let me know about this one down in the comment section below. Alright, we're going to look at another ace-king hand, open to 3x, middle position, and we get 3-bet from the small blind. We both have very deep stacks here of almost 200 big blinds. This is a pretty tight player post-flop. He's been 3-betting 5.7% of hands pre-flop. I've only got 324 hands against this player, so he's probably just a weekend player. I 4-bet here to $12 and he makes a call. So I am representing a very strong hand right here, and he does fold a lot to continuation bets. So I think if I hit an ace or a king, I'm probably going to slow down. But if I hit a flop like this, not very draw heavy, rainbow, it's a good possibility he has the exact same hand, or maybe ace queen. And I think he's playing fit or fold post flop, so I think he's only going to be calling when he has hands that have me dominated here. So he checks back and I put in a continuation bet. Pretty good size here, representing a strong hand. It's going to be, in between half and 2/3 pot. I don't see him calling here with many hands unless he's completely got me dominated with pocket jacks, pocket kings, pocket aces, maybe pocket queens. Anything else he's going to get rid of, and that's exactly what he does. He gets rid of whatever hand he did have, and I pick up a big pot right there with nothing but an ace high. Head down to the video description for all the links to the poker sites and poker products that I use. Check them all out, guys. Tons of great stuff down there. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done that yet. New videos coming out daily. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with anyone else who might be interested. And I'll see you guys back very soon with a new video. But until then, you can find me out on the virtual felt.